Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something deep. Something divine, asterisk, asterisk, God is still writing your story, asterisk, asterisk. Don't let the storm make you forget that He's still holding the pen. You may feel like life has come to a standstill. You may be surrounded by silence, rejection, or unanswered prayers, but the absence of noise is not the absence of God. Just because you can't hear Him doesn't mean He isn't speaking. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean there's no progress. You might be staring at a blank page, wondering, Lord, where are you? But child of God, you need to know asterisk, asterisk, He's still writing asterisk, asterisk. See, God doesn't stop writing because you made a mistake. He doesn't drop the pen because you failed. He doesn't give up on your story because you lost your way. No, no. He is the kind of God who writes redemption into the ruins. He writes beauty into the ashes. He writes peace into the storm. When others give up on you, when the world closes your book and walks away, God says, asterisk, I'm not done yet. Asterisk, you are not disqualified. You are not forgotten. You are not finished. What you see as a mess, God sees as material. What you see as broken, God sees as buildable. Your past may look like scribbles, like chaos, like wasted ink. But in His hands, even the ugliest pages become part of a masterpiece. His pen writes in divine ink that can't be erased by shame, by fear, or by failure. The enemy would love to convince you that this chapter is your final one, that this is how the story ends. But the devil is a liar. He doesn't get to write the last word, asterisk, asterisk. God does asterisk, asterisk. Maybe you've been crying at midnight, pacing the floor, wondering why the promise hasn't come to pass. Maybe you've been looking at other people's stories, flipping through their highlight reels, comparing your process to their progress. But hear me, you are not behind schedule. You are right where God is writing. This chapter may not be easy, but it's necessary. This chapter may not make sense, but it's strategic. Don't curse the chapter just because you don't like how it starts. Asterisk, asterisk, wait and see how God finishes it, asterisk, asterisk. You've got to trust the author. He sees the end from the beginning. While you're weeping over this scene, He's already planned your victory. While you're stuck on the pain, He's preparing the promise. And when God writes, He doesn't just write stories. He writes glory. He writes grace. He writes miracles right into the margins of your mess. So stand tall, wipe those tears. Square your shoulders and declare, asterisk, God's not finished with me yet. Asterisk, the pen is still in His hand. The story is still being written, and this next chapter, it might just be the one that changes everything. You've been looking at your life thinking it's over, thinking the silence means God walked away. But I came to tell you what you're calling the end is just a asterisk, asterisk, pause, asterisk, asterisk, a divine breath, a sacred stillness before the next move of God. You've mistaken the hush in your spirit for abandonment, but let me break that lie. Asterisk, asterisk, a pause is not the end, asterisk, asterisk. Just because it's quiet doesn't mean God's done. Just because things have slowed down doesn't mean the promise has expired. He's not finished, He's just turning the page. You see, there are seasons in life where everything falls silent. The phone doesn't ring, the opportunity doesn't come, the door doesn't open, and the enemy tries to convince you that heaven has closed shop. But, oh, don't you be fooled. Silence isn't failure. It's formation. In the pause, God is preparing. In the stillness, God is shaping. The pause is not punishment, it's process. And sometimes, before the next sentence is written, God has to let the ink dry on what came before. You may be walking through a season right now where nothing's moving. Your prayers feel like they hit the ceiling. Your dreams feel delayed. Your plans have fallen flat. But don't confuse stillness with stagnation. Don't confuse delay with denial. You might not see movement, but trust me, there is motion in the unseen. The seed doesn't sprout the moment it's buried. The baby doesn't cry the moment it's conceived. There is a sacred, invisible pause between the planting and the birthing. And in that space, God is doing more than you could ever imagine. God is not in a hurry. He's eternal. He doesn't rush masterpieces. You want him to move fast, but he's moving deep. You want immediate results, but he's building lasting impact. And if he has to pause the story to prepare the blessing, then let him pause. If he has to hide you before he launches you, then let him hide you. Because what's coming after this pause is going to make sense of everything you've been through. Some of you are judging your life too soon. You're calling it over while God is still setting the scene. The stage may look empty now, but the curtain is about to rise. Don't you dare walk out during intermission. Don't you dare close the book when the author is flipping the page. God is not through. He's orchestrating something divine in the dark. So hold on, breathe in the pause. Worship in the quiet, praise in the stillness, because the pause is the place where strength is born, where character is built, where roots grow deep. And when God starts writing again, it's going to be bigger than you thought, better than you hoped, and greater than you imagined. The pause is not the period, it's the preparation. And if you can trust him in the pause, you'll see the power in what's coming next. You've been looking at the broken pieces of your life, wondering how God could ever make something beautiful out of the mess. You've been staring at the shattered dreams, the painful chapters, the heartaches that left you gasping for breath, thinking, surely this part of my life has no purpose, but I came to speak life over you today, even broken chapters have purpose, Just because it didn't go the way you planned doesn't mean it didn't go the way God intended. God is the only one who can take brokenness and build destiny out of it. He doesn't throw away the jagged pieces. He doesn't skip over the painful pages. He doesn't edit out your struggles to make your story look pretty. No, he includes the betrayal. He includes the loss. He includes the trauma, the tears, the breakdown, because all of it plays a part in what he's doing. There's purpose in the pain. You thought that divorce disqualified you. You thought the addiction destroyed your future. You thought the miscarriage erased the promise. But God said, I can use that. Yes, he can use even that. You may not understand it right now, but trust me, nothing you've been through will be wasted. God doesn't just work in the light, he works in the dark. He doesn't just use your victories, he uses your wounds. That heartbreak you don't talk about anymore, that mistake you've buried deep in shame, that's the very thing God is about to redeem. He is a God who heals as he writes. He is a God who restores as he authors. Your broken chapter is not the end of your story. It's the setup for the glory. You might be reading your life like it's a tragedy, but heaven is reading it like a testimony. The same place where the enemy thought he had you is the very place God is going to launch you. The pit is not the proof that God left you. It's the evidence that he's about to raise you. Let me tell you something. If your story were perfect, it wouldn't carry power. If everything came easy, nobody would be changed by your journey. But it's the struggle that gives your story weight. It's the brokenness that births compassion. It's the pain that produces empathy. And it's in the cracks where God's glory shines the brightest. Somebody needs to hear this asterisk asterisk. Your broken chapter is going to bless somebody else. Asterisk asterisk, so don't hide from it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't rip that page out of your story. Instead say, asterisk, yes, I've been broken, but look what God is doing with my brokenness. Asterisk, let your scars speak. Let your wounds worship. Let your story breathe, because someone else's healing is tied to your honesty. God never needed perfection, he needed surrender. He never asked for spotless pages, he asked for an open heart. And when you give him your broken chapters, he'll show you they weren't a detour. They were divine direction. Some of you are standing in the middle of your story, staring at a comma and thinking it's a period. You've been fooled into believing that delay equals denial, that disruption equals destruction, that detour means it's all over. But let me shake you up with truth, asterisk asterisk. Don't mistake a comma for a conclusion, asterisk asterisk. That little pause, that break in the sentence, that unexpected interruption, it's not the end. It's just God catching his breath before he writes what's next. You might be stuck in a season that looks like it's gone nowhere. Your business stalled, your relationship broke, your health took a hit, and the enemy is whispering, this is it. This is as far as you go. But the devil is a liar. God didn't bring you this far to leave you hanging at a comma. If the author is still holding the pen, then you better believe there's more to be written. God uses commas to slow us down, not shut us down. Sometimes you're moving so fast that God has to insert a pause to protect you from what's ahead. You were about to settle for something beneath your destiny. You were about to rush into something you weren't ready for. You were about to connect with someone who couldn't carry what God placed inside you. So he put a comma in your story not to stop you, but to asterisk asterisk save asterisk asterisk you. You see, a comma is a sign that the sentence still has breath, that there's more to say, that the thought isn't finished. And so it is with you. God still has something to say about your life. You may feel forgotten, but you're only in between what was and what will be. The comma is the place of transformation. That's where he matures your faith. That's where he prepares the blessing. That's where he gets your spirit strong enough to carry what's coming. The problem is, we live in a world that wants instant conclusions, quick fixes, easy answers, but God is not in a rush. He doesn't operate on your deadline, and when he puts a comma, he's doing it with the ending already in mind. He knows how the story wraps up, so he's not worried when you hit a pause. He's the Alpha and the Omega. He wrote your beginning and your end before you ever lived your middle. So don't you cry over that comma. Don't you curse the pause. Don't you call finished what God has only paused. If you walk away too soon, you'll never see the glory that was waiting in the next sentence. You'll never taste the joy that was coming after the comma. The comma is just proof that God's not through. The sentence is still alive. The paragraph still has power. The story still has purpose. Your life is not over. Your calling is not canceled. The sentence hasn't ended, asterisk asterisk God's just catching his breath. Asterisk asterisk, and when he writes again, it's going to be more than you ever imagined. Faith is not a feeling. Faith is not a goosebump. Faith is not a shout on Sunday and fear on Monday. Faith is movement. Faith is action. Faith is choosing to believe even when your eyes don't see it and your ears don't hear it. So let me tell you this, asterisk asterisk, your faith must keep moving, asterisk asterisk. Don't let the weight of delay make you stand still. Don't let disappointment paralyze your trust in God, because the moment your faith stops moving is the moment you start dying spiritually. There comes a point where you've got to walk even when you don't know the way. You've got to trust when there's no proof in sight. You've got to believe in the dark what God told you in the light. You've got to keep showing up, keep pressing in, keep declaring His promises over your life. That's what it means to move by faith, not because it feels good, not because it's easy, but because you know the one who gave you the promise is faithful to finish what He started. Faith without motion is fiction. It's dead. It's dormant. God responds to movement. When the woman with the issue of blood reached out, He moved. When Peter stepped out of the boat, Jesus showed up on the water. When the lepers walked, they were healed on the way. Not before, not after, asterisk asterisk on the way. Asterisk asterisk, if they had stood still, waiting for proof, they never would have experienced power. You want God to bless you, but are you moving toward what you're asking for? You're praying for doors to open, but are you walking toward them, or are you camped out in fear? Faith is not just waiting, it's walking while you wait. It's praising while you're still bleeding. It's worshiping when the walls haven't come down yet. You've got to move like the miracle is already in motion. Some of you have let your faith go stale. You're stuck in what God said last year, but He's been trying to give you a new word, a fresh instruction, a deeper calling. But it requires motion. It requires risk. It requires obedience even when you don't have full understanding. That's what separates the spectators from the participators. God isn't calling you to understand the whole plan. He's calling you to take the next step. Stop looking for the blueprint. Stop waiting for the perfect condition. If you wait for everything to be right, you'll never move. If you wait to feel ready, you'll miss the window. Move now. Move scared. Move unsure. But asterisk asterisk, move asterisk asterisk. Because when you move in faith, heaven moves with you. You've been anointed to walk by faith, not by sight. That means your current reality doesn't define your future, God does. So let your feet respond to what your spirit knows. Keep walking, keep believing, keep moving forward even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's just a crawl. Asterisk asterisk, faith that moves is faith that wins. Asterisk asterisk, there is something powerful about knowing that the best chapters of your life have not yet been written. You may be sitting here today, feeling worn down, thinking the glory days are behind you. You might be convinced that your breakthrough has passed, your season of favor is over, and the best you can hope for now is just to survive. But listen carefully, asterisk asterisk. The best chapters are still ahead, asterisk asterisk. The author of your life has not put down his pen. In fact, he's just getting started. You see, life's struggles and storms are not the climax, they're the setup. The pain you've endured, the nights you've cried, the battles you've fought, they are not the finale. They are the prelude to the glory that's coming. God isn't interested in just getting you through. He's preparing to launch you into something greater than you've ever imagined. The next chapter is not just better, it's supernatural. It's beyond your wildest dreams, beyond what your mind can conceive. Many people give up just before their miracle arrives. They close the book early because they can't see the finish line. But the truth is, the final pages are often the most exciting. The ending God writes is not a sad one, it's a victorious one. The author's pen moves with purpose and power, and he's not finished with your story yet. You may have been reading your life backwards, trying to figure out why the last chapter looked so dark. But what if I told you the darkness was only temporary? What if the light you've been longing for is just around the bend? The storm that battered you is the storm that God is using to clear the way for a harvest. The tear-stained pages are the pages where God's grace began to pour out. Don't let your past define your future. Don't let your setbacks set the tone for your comeback. God specializes in comebacks. He writes resurrection stories. And He's got your name written all over the pages of that comeback. The best is not behind you, it's waiting in front of you. You've got to trust that the author knows the plot better than you do. So stand firm. Hold fast to hope. Keep your eyes on the author, because what's coming next is going to shake the foundations of your life. It's going to surprise you. It's going to exceed every expectation. The next chapter is filled with joy, peace, favor, healing, and purpose. You've been through the valley, but the mountaintop is ahead. God's story for you is not finished, it's only beginning. And the beauty of it is that you get to be a part of that writing. Your faith, your obedience, your hope. They're the ink that makes the next chapter come alive. So don't give up now. The pen is still moving. The story is still unfolding. And your best chapters, they're coming, glory-bound and God-inspired. Keep believing, keep trusting, because the author of your life is still writing, and the best is yet to come.